Hi Jim, Steve Baggs here. You remember me. Best of luck on your CD release. Wish you and Lillian all the best in the future. Take care. Bye bye.
Bonjour. Je m'appelle Chantal Vincent, originalement du Manitoba et maintenant ici en Terre Neuve. Nous sommes ici au Rock House pour le launch du disque de Jim Fidler, Revolution Time. Et félicitations à Jim pour tout.
Hi, I'm Jeannie Loke, and I first met you just here tonight, and you're a lovely couple. And I love reggae. And I'm from Alberta.
Republic of Avalon Radio. It's 0 hours, Avalon Standard Time.
We're outside at the launch for Revolution Time.
Yeah.
And how's it feel?
It feels great. Yeah. Everyone's happening. Terry Lynn Eddy band are singing right now, and Andy Vine's already been up. Colleen Power's already been up. Gene Rippers are waiting in the wings, and I think I'm going to have to get up and play some guitar now shortly, sing a couple of songs and all that. But yeah, Revolution. It is Revolution Time.
There's a good crowd in there. I think a lot of people came out to support you.
Well, I certainly appreciate that. Yeah. Yeah, it's been ups and downs, trials and tribulations and all that stuff, but here we are. We're still on this side of the sod, and we're jamming.
Yeah.
How long did it take to make the record? What's your favorite? I guess there's always one favorite song out of all of them that you think is a hit. Which one is that?
Well, from the beginning to the end of the record was about 2 years, but that was working on other things as well, so it wasn't just 2 years day and night working on that record, but 2 years from beginning to end. And I don't know, songs are kind of like your children, so it's pretty hard to pick a favorite baby, but like I like Mash It Up, I like Infowar and Ringbang Revolution Time, and a couple of the songs from the old days, a couple of songs I wrote a long time ago, Reality Time, which was almost the title track for the record, and New World Revolution. Of course, I like that one. I like all these songs. I just don't like having to write them, because if everything were great in the world, if everything were wonderful, people like me wouldn't have to write these kinds of songs to kind of sound the alarm, hopefully wake a few people up, get a few people to pull the remote controls out of people's hands and pull the blinders off. But the good thing about music is, even if the subject matter isn't necessarily always positive, one thing about reggae music is that it's reggae is folk music, it's people music. It's like the stuff that you can learn not on the 6 o'clock news, and they don't teach you that in school. So reggae music it's about the message. It's about a real common sense life education, and the music and the rhythm and all that stuff has that little bit of spoonful of sugar to help the medicine go down. So I like that. Yeah.
Sono lieto di poter rievocare in poche parole le esperienze delle prime trasmissioni radiotelegrafiche a grandi distanze, da me felicemente eseguite attraverso l'Oceano Atlantico il 12 dicembre 1901.
Dipsy, Revolution Time I come.
Well, this is Jim from McInnis' Kitchen. We'd just like to give a shout out to The Roar.
Sue Spencer, shout out to The Roar.
Chuck Butler, and a big shout out to The Roar.
Mark Monroe, McInnis' Kitchen, shout out to The Roar.
Let's say revolution time a come. Let's say revolution time a come. What you gonna do when you see it coming? What you gonna do when the time a come? What you gonna do when you see it coming? What you gonna do when the time a come? What you gonna do when you see it coming? What you gonna do when the time a come? What you gonna do when you see it coming? What you gonna do when the time a come? Jump in the line, rock your body in time. Jump in the line, rock your body in time. Jump in the line, rock your body in time. Okay, I believe. Jump in the line, rock your body in time.
Republic of Avalon Radio.
The best radio in the whole wide world. You're with the roar.
Here now is Jimmy Fidler.
Republic of Avalon Radio. You are with the roar, and I am indeed Jim Fidler. And boy, it's been a while since I actually sat behind this mic and talked to you guys. So it's good to be back in the chair. Hope summer is going well for everybody. Of course, it's drawing somewhat to a close. We're well into August now, and I guess a lot of people are thinking about going back to school and finishing their vacations and all these things. So, boy, an awful lot has been going on. Lot's been happening. Of course, we launched my new CD, Revolution Time. And, of course, the last little thing we put up was an interview that I did on CHMR on the Reggae Show with Charmaine. So I'd like to, right off the bat, thank Charmaine for just having a great conversation. Just a straight up good old conversation. She loves reggae music. It's not a paying job. She just does the show. So I got to tip my hat to her, and enjoyed meeting with her and having a chat with her. So big ups to Charmaine. You can listen to the Reggae Show. It's on CHMR. For details on the show, which you can listen to on the internets, just go to mun.ca. It's MUN, as in Memorial University of Newfoundland. mun.ca/CHMR. And just look for the Reggae Show. And we put up 35 minutes. We put up the first 35 minutes of the interview and the show. But she actually took the whole 2 hours. And wow, I was amazed. She played all kinds of stuff from the new record, Revolution Time, as well as some other things that I've done in the reggae world. One song that I played a bunch of instruments on for Colleen Power, a song called Chickadee. Some pressure drop stuff. And as well, she played some stuff from the Mosaic record. We've played some stuff here on the Roar before from that album. And just a whole bunch of stuff. And it was amazing to me just to hear all that stuff. And I was thinking before, you come out with this reggae album, and for some reason, is it going to seem out of the blue? Are people going to think, okay, well, what's this reggae coming out of nowhere? But I'll tell you, just myself, by listening to that whole 2 hours, boy, she could have played a lot of other stuff as well. That's the amazing part of it. But just from that 2 hours, I think anybody that heard that 2 hours knows darn well that I'm not just sort of coming out of nowhere doing this reggae stuff. And it was really, really kind of reassuring to me in a funny kind of way. Because people say, oh, you're going reggae, or, I've gotten that before about going traditional. I come from forming and producing a couple of records for a reggae band and touring all around and appearing on television and radio and in newspapers, and people see you playing drums and singing reggae and doing all this stuff. And then next thing you're putting out this gypsy record with songs on it like Rising of the Moon, Rhythm of the Goat, Downtown Girl, all these things. So they think somehow that they've lost you, that you've gone traditional or Irish or Newfoundland or whatever. But even when we were touring with the reggae band, I'd have my whistles in my bag, in my luggage. I'd have my tin whistles and my mandolin and things like that. So when we'd be in some hotel somewhere, I'd be playing and composing jigs and reels and all these kinds of things, working on little bits and pieces, coming up with ideas that eventually ended up on Gypsy and so on. And many's a time I'd finish a show. I'd do a show with the group, and then I would just simply dart out the back door and run down to the pub to have a pint and hear a few tunes and say hello to a few people. And while all that's going on, while the people at the reggae show might not be aware of the fact that I'm in the hotel room composing jigs and reels, I'm at the pub, and people maybe don't necessarily realize that I just did a reggae show for 300 people at the Loft or whatever. And then neither one of those crowds realized that I was over in St. Pierre playing all kinds of things with my friend Thierry Arthur, playing little bits of gypsy music and all kinds of things, and playing with Likbir, Khalali, and doing some Rai music. And so, music is music, isn't it, really? It's not a one-size-fits-all thing. Thankfully, let's hope we never get to that point where music becomes a one-size-fits-all, where we have one global culture and everybody just listens to the same song or the same few songs, whatever the radio decides to play, and that's all is available to anybody. Maybe that's one of the good things about what's happening now. You see, upsides and downsides to all these things with music and the internet and MP3s and all these things. Maybe a good side to it is people can turn off that radio that's playing those same few songs over and over again, whether it's on a top 40 format or adult contemporary or rock classics or whatever. People can actually get away from that and avail of lots of other different music that might not even be music that they knew anything about or thought they would like. And suddenly they're listening to this North African music or this French music or German music, or people just love. I think it's human nature to be curious. It's human nature to explore. So whoever comes up with the idea that we only like what we're familiar with, well, we had to get familiar with those things some way. In other words, these things had to be new to us at some point. So the guy who considers himself to be a stick in the mud because all he likes is Bob Seger and Bruce Springsteen and Supertramp and Led Zeppelin. Well, there was a time when he never heard of any of those things, and that was all brand new to him. And he opened up and went, whoa, yeah, I really like this Led Zeppelin, or I really like this whatever it is. So it was brand new to that person at that point. And then I think at some point people stop. It tends to happen after school, after people sort of finish school. And then if they go to university, after that they go get a job. And then they think they don't need to learn anymore, whether that's educational type learning, book learning, or even school of life. I would tend to think that once that other school stuff is over with, then bring on the school of life stuff. That would be my way of thinking about it. And that would lead to all kinds of other wonderful stuff, including music and food and just all kinds of stuff. So I think our nature, our human nature, is to be curious and to be explorers and to want to go where no one has gone before. And I think it's a beautiful thing, you know? And I think that perhaps this whole internets and all these things and things just might make that might be the upside. The downside is, well, what do we do about people downloading MP3s and pirating music and all that stuff? I don't know what we do about that, but I think we try to work with it, because I don't think people are dishonest, conniving thieves by nature either, as much as maybe some of the big record companies might want to imply or assume. So they got to have all kinds of laws passed and do all kinds of things to try to inhibit people's rights. I mean, if you buy a CD, you go out and you buy a CD and you bring it home, you I think fairly assume that that's your CD. And if you want to put that on your hard drive and be able to listen to it whenever you want without having to go find the CD again and all that, for backup purposes, you know, load it onto your hard drive and take the CD and just put it away in a box somewhere. If your hard drive ever crashes, you can go grab that CD and put it back on the new hard drive or whatever. That's called fair use, and I think that's only fair and reasonable and interesting to encourage common sense and fair use and things like that. So I think, you know, as somebody who writes music and makes albums and all that kind of stuff, I'm on the side of the people, fair use, common sense, and people enjoying music, not people buying CDs and bringing them home and then it won't load on this and it won't load on something else because there's some kind of digital rights management software or spyware or some form of malware installed onto the disk, and their computer pops up and they got to go and log into a website and click on this and that and fool around. I think that's not reasonable. So in any case, there you have it. I went off on a side ramble unintentionally, but as you all know, I do tend to do that sometimes. So Revolution Time is out. It's available. You can go to my website, jimfidler.com, JIMFIDLER.com. Brand spanking new website. So drop on over and check that out. Check out the music and buy my new CD, please. A long time in the making, a lot of hard work, and I think from everyone's reaction so far at least, a lot of music to be enjoyed. And people seem to really be warming up to it. Not even just people that you would assume. That's the thing. Not just the that little group over there in the corner that call themselves, the reggae cats or whatever. Generally speaking, people are really warm to it. They're hearing it and loving it. And, we're hearing it coming out of places that you wouldn't expect. And it's wonderful. So go on over to jimfidler.com and buy my CD. Yeah, the CD is launched. It's out. The night was absolutely wonderful. Want to thank everybody. Colleen Power, Andy Vine, Renee Batten, and of course Terry Lynn Eddy, the Gene Rippers, the Discounts featuring Skank, Steve Crew, Arlene and Marion at the door, Xavier Georges for being the master of ceremonies and doing a brilliant job, I might add. And everybody that came. Especially everybody that came and showed their support and danced and sang and just really helped create a really wonderful atmosphere in the room. It was a wonderful night, bien passé. So a great big up to everybody, a great big thank you, and you really helped make a very special night. And there's no way I can really explain to you how important it was to us after various other things taking place earlier on in the summer and just other things. You guys really gave us a shot in the arm that we really needed. So thank you to everybody for that. And to everybody as well on Facebook. And I've seen a couple of posts running around the internet. Anybody who helps spread the word a little bit via the internet or in any form, Facebook or forums or whatever, word of mouth. Really much appreciated from both of us. So big thanks to everybody. Since we last spoke, we also the very next weekend after the launch, we went to Terra Nova, where I played at the festival out there again this year. So coming up in the show, we'll play you a cut from that we recorded while we were there. Also, I might mention, we do mention later on in our little stroll downtown. That's another thing coming up for you later on. Little bit of strollage from myself and Lillian. One little bit before the launch, just to kind of segue, kind of warm you into the whole thing. And then a longer segment of walkabout after, post-Revolution Time launch. But yeah, I should mention that we have a new video up on YouTube, and there's a link in the show notes at republicofAvalonradio.com. We'll also have a link over at jimfidler.com. You can find it over there. It is the song Rising of the Moon, as performed at the festival in Terra Nova this year, August 2009. So go over and check that out. Also, we have for you a version of a song that I wrote and recorded on my Friendly Fire album, a song called Road to Terra Nova. I don't know if I've ever played that here before or not, but anyway, it's on the Friendly Fire album. That's available also at jimfidler.com. Don't mean to sound like an advert here, but it's just information, folks. You can do with it what you want, or not. That's the whole glorious thing about it all. Yeah, so Road to Terra Nova, as performed by McInnis's Kitchen, a group they've said hello on the Roar before, quite a while ago. Anyway, they're a group from Minnesota, and they just did some touring through here. Lots of other places too, plenty other places, I think. But they came through, and we were lucky enough to get a chance to run into them in their travels. And that, for you, comes in the form of we ran into them one night down at the pub, and they went out to the car, I guess, or the van or whatever, and took their instruments into the pub and right on the spot performed their version of my song Road to Terra Nova. And we happened to have the R9 with us, so we recorded it for you guys. So we'll have that coming up for you later, as well as the bit from Terra Nova that I mentioned, the Rising of the Moon. Check out the video on YouTube. And just all kinds of fun and frolics. Again, hope everybody's having a great summer 2009. It ain't over yet, kiddies. So dig in, enjoy the show, enjoy the rest of the summer. And as I said, go over to jimfidler.com and please buy my new CD, Revolution Time. Let's get it moving. All right, let's carry on with the rest of the show. Episode 72. You're listening to Republic of Avalon Radio.
Wake up, America! This is the Republic of Avalon Radio Show. Ragadan from the Three Shoes Posse letting you know. Link up, don't drop your teacup.
I am known for sticking to principle and not flip-flopping.
Yeah, we need a good man for presidency.
I would guarantee that I would never abuse habeas corpus.
We want him to get the America wake up and help me.
The freedom message brings us together. It doesn't divide us.
I'll say, Rand Paul is here, waking up people everywhere. Rand Paul is here, making people be aware. Rand Paul is here,
the freedom message,
waking up people everywhere. Rand Paul is here.
Hi, this is Eddie Grant, and you're listening to the Republic of Avalon Radio. Take your time.
We're gonna rock down to Electric Avenue, and then we'll take it higher. Oh, we're gonna rock down to Electric Avenue, and then we'll take it higher.
Republic of Avalon Radio.
Either you're with us or you're with the terrorists.
You're with the roar!
All right, this is it, folks. This is the madness. It is George Street Festival. And of course, if you'll recollect, we mentioned to you that George Street Festival is right before Regatta Day. which is right before the launch of my new CD. So we are in that time period that we were referring to, that whole George Street Festival, Regatta Day, CD launch, and then the Folk Festival in Bannerman Park. So we are actually in that time period. It's a beautiful night. It's about, I guess, low 70s for our American friends, and for us who still sort of half think in terms of Fahrenheit. And so that's low 20s, and it's about 20 to 1 in the AM.
People are everywhere.
People are everywhere. There are people everywhere.
There are people everywhere.
They must be depopulated. They are killing the earth. Yes, so bodies everywhere. Now we're just getting out of the mad zone here now, actually. we were in a taxi, and it just got so congested that we decided to jump out and hoof it the rest of the way. Go Shanks Mare, as we say. And
it's probably good, because the taxi fare would have been pretty high by the time we got there.
The taxi fare would have been high. It would have taken us a long time. There would have just been nothing redeeming about it at all, I don't think.
I think people are just loving being out in like their little t-shirts and shorts.
Their little t-shirts with their little friends.
With their little friends.
Yes.
And the ladies are all dressed up in their skirts and...
Or dressed down.
Dressed down, yeah.
Undressed.
More like it, for sure.
Undressed up.
Oh, there's a poster, look. It says...
What does it say?
Jim Fidler, Revolution Time.
Yes.
Album launch. Jim Fidler, Revolution Time.
Album
Thursday,
launch.
August 6th, 8 p.m. to midnight, the Rock House, George Street. Featuring Colleen Power, Ann Devine, the Terry Linetti Band, the Gene Rippers, the Discounts featuring Skank, and of course, Jim Fidler, with the Master of Ceremonies, Xavier Georges.
Say anything else?
Put on your dancing shoes and get ready for a night of great roots, rock, and certainly reggae.
That's it?
And admission. Admission and website.
And then we admit the things.
And we admit it.
And we admit it. Cool.
We have posters up.
That seemed like that was pretty low.
It was pretty low.
So
Why so low?
Well, I had to look up to read it, so it wasn't that low.
Oh, okay.
I didn't have to stretch or anything.
Yes, so we'll put a picture of the poster up on the Flickr site. Here we go. Here we go, folks. Live it. What's the world coming to? Kids going around singing adverts for companies that sell glasses. Yes, indeed. They're talking about Barbie.
There's another poster.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
They're everywhere. They're everywhere.
They're everywhere.
And you can see them?
Yeah.
Right.
Our friend Roseanne went out today with her daughter, and she said she coated Duckworth Street.
Cool. Well, obviously they did.
They did too, yeah.
And did they put them up the way I suggested, facing the toward and the toward each approach, or is it stuck so that only people walking by on the sidewalk have to stop and turn face on to read it?
I think they're in strategic locations.
All right then.
Yeah, they're on the poles, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
The telephone poles.
We have Polish people standing strategically spaced out up the street, and we just tape posters to them.
So,
Vive les Polski.
Should we walk down the courthouse steps, or should we go around?
Down the courthouse steps, that makes sense. Going around just adds extra geography for no reason.
Yeah, I thought it might be a nice walk, but...
Well, you thought wrong.
Okay.
It's not a nice walk at all. It's
an
extra.
evil walk?
No, it's a nasty walk.
Okay, here we go.
All right, here we go, folks.
Down the steps.
Down over the steps of the courthouse. These are nice steps, by the way. These are very, very even, very smooth. I mean, St. John's, for you folks who haven't ever been, is really somewhat of a, you know, the streets of San Francisco kind of thing.
Oh,
It's hills.
Oh, goodness gracious. The police are taking this young fella out of the, I guess they're holding their jail cell down, because they're passing by the courthouse.
Oh, great.
And they got him handcuffed behind his hands.
Behind his hands?
They got him handcuffed behind his back.
Okay.
His hands cuffed. And they just put him in the back of the car.
Oh, I'd say he's probably fine.
Yeah. I wonder what he might have done.
All right, folks. This is absolutely picture perfect. It's about, like I said, 20, 21, 22 degrees Celsius, which is, low 70s, 70 plus. And it's actually more humid than usual for here. So I think we're probably getting up into the high 80s humidity. So it's got that real warm, or warm close, as we say, sort of a summer night kind of feeling, and we like it.
We love it in the Republic of Avalon.
Yes. All right. Well, that's it for us for now. Just thought we'd check in to let you know that the festivities have kicked off, and the countdown to Revolution time is underway.
Woohoo! Woohoo!
We'll catch you on
Stay tuned.
We'll catch you on the other side. Stay tuned.
When the day is nigh at hand, the new is
folks, this is Eric Bogle from Australia via Scotland, and you're listening to Republic of Avalon Radio. It helps if you're stoned, but it doesn't matter if you're not.
Republic of Avalon Radio.
Radio for lazy people who don't want to do nothing.
You're with the roar!
Greetings, all of you Roar listeners out there. All 2.3 of you.
Good evening.
Yes, our numbers have declined, but we were getting sick of the quantity and desiring the quality again. Yeah. When we first started out, we had quality, and then it just blew up out of proportion, and a whole bunch of people were listening because they thought it was cool. But, you know, there you go. So those people have since gone on elsewhere to other cool things. And so here we are, because we're not cool, we're warm.
Yeah.
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 So there.
There.
So all of you who are still listening, and you know who you are, if you're hearing us now, then you know who you are. And
you're one of the quality people.
You're one of the quality people, yes. We never set out to, when we started doing the Roar, we never set out to have 10 million listeners and, you know, have... I think a lot of the people doing that in the first place, doing the quote-unquote podcast thing, whatever that's all about, there was this big thing about monetizing your podcast and quitting your day job and all that kind of stuff. But that was never the case for us. We don't want to stop doing what we're doing so that we can do a podcast. That's never been our goal. For us, it's an outlet. It's kind of like an audio journal, something that maybe we can look back at in the future when we're creaking away in our rocking chairs with our chips and all that.
You're not talking about munchies?
I ain't talking about munchies, no. Yeah. Anyway, and also the whole idea is to share with you guys some of the people and the places and the things that we encounter in our lifetimes. Here we are as the weeks and months and years unfold. 5 years, and we're still doing it. And it's great. We still enjoy it. And we do it now when the spirit moves. We've been really busy for the last while, the last couple of weeks, last few weeks. Last several weeks.
How about the whole summer?
The whole summer, yeah.
Which is only really a
twinkle.
sequence of weeks, isn't it?
Really, that's about all there is to it. But yeah, planning the launch and organizing that and planning it and all that sort of stuff, and that all went really well. So we'll talk a little bit about that. The launch itself. We just launched my new CD, Revolution Time, at the Rock House in lovely downtown St. John's, and we had Colleen Power, Anne Devine, Terry Linetti with she had Renee Batten with her, and that's kind of a representation of the Terry Linetti band. And we had a kind of a cool sort of amalgamation of the Discounts and Skank that billed themselves as the Discounts featuring Skank. And Steve Crew was on hand, and we had Xavier Georges, Merci Mon Ami, doing being the master of ceremonies, and he did a fantastic job. And oh my, we had all kinds of people. We had a friend of ours, Arlene, doing the door. She took care of the entrance and all the people coming in, and we did get both quantity and quality at the launch. Must say, it was a really nice feeling in the room. The music was fantastic. Everybody enjoyed themselves, and not just in a party sense. It's hard to explain, but there was just a really good, sincere vibe in the room of celebration and well-wishing, and I really felt it. And I think I would have been, if it weren't there, I think I would have felt it acutely. and just kind of got through it and said, well, at least, you know, we had a whole bunch of yahoos show up. But no, the people who showed up weren't yahoos at all. It was a really good crowd. And by the time you hear this, it might be gone from the main page, but we'll leave it on the website somewhere. There was a review written by one of the people who attended, not by our direction by any means, just on their own, just posted in Facebook the next day after the launch, and had some very nice things to say, and wrote very well also. So that's on the main page right now at my website, jimfidler.com. Fidler, just in case. Anyway, you can look for that, get a sense of what the evening was like. And speaking of evenings, what is this evening like? Well, it's warm and it's very humid. It's actually more humid than it is warm, isn't it?
It is. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Apparently, we have a hurricane on the way in. They say tonight. Hurricane Bill.
Sure it's Bill?
I think it's Bill, isn't it?
I don't know.
That's what the neighbors say.
And tonight I thought it was supposed to be like Sunday or something, Saturday or Sunday.
I don't know. You know, everybody has their own spin on that and their own
I guess so.
information. I don't know. I heard a couple of different things today. It was supposed to be Sunday, and then
You must be roasting in that sweater. Starting to.
Maybe a little bit.
Kind of. Yeah, so let the wind and the rain and the hail blow high and the snow come tumbling from the sky. We're as sweet as apple pie. And yeah, we're not worried about hurricanes and stuff like that, are we? Only when they're falsely accused and imprisoned for periods of time. That's the only time we get concerned about hurricanes.
Yes.
Yep. So, is this something swelling up out of the grave?
That's what it sounded like, didn't it?
What was it?
It's a piece of concrete that is falling off of the sidewalk, and somebody kicked it. Somebody turned it over with their foot.
Yeah.
We have peoples in front of us.
Sounded like something swelling up out of the grave to me.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yes.
So yeah, after the lunch, we had a nice little after lunch party too.
We did. Yeah,
Get together, not
we left
party really, but
exactly. We left the lunch and headed down to the pub. Left the Rock House, headed down to the pub, and had a grand old time.
it was really nice actually, because
Yeah.
our friend who's working at the pub, she put candles on all the tables, and it was beautiful. It was like walking into somebody's house. It was really a nice vibe.
It was very welcoming.
Yeah, and we had a bit of food there, finger food, sandwiches and stuff like that, and so
My fingers weren't hungry though.
most of the musicians came back to the pub.
I waited and had some belly food later.
Yeah, finger food is kind of crunchy.
Yes.
Yeah, so that was nice after, because, boy, I tell you, these things, it feels a little bit like if anybody's planned and been in their own wedding. It's, I don't know, anyway, it's like, it's a lot of, it's not really the time for relaxing for yourself, for sure.
I think even if I think even if you had somebody do all the planning for you, and all you had to do was show up, I don't know if that would even make it any better, because some of you might hear the sound of cars in the background going over gravel and wondering what's with that when we're walking in the middle of, a city. Well, they're tearing up, they're doing the sewage system in St. John's Harbour. They're revamping the whole system so that things will be better, apparently. But they're taking their own dear time. I don't know when they're going to... Rome wasn't built in a day, but... Jeez Louise.
It's going on for a while.
What's with this shite?
Yeah. Pardon the pun.
Yes. What was I talking about? What were we talking about?
We were just talking about the.
Oh, organizing launches and things. Yeah, part of knowing about what's going to go on and taking part in the organization and the planning kind of reassures you more. If you don't know, then you don't know what to expect, and then you might just become a complete bundle of nerves. So there's that side of it too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The main thing though is that it's organized and you know, people know what's what, everybody involved, and there's a schedule and you know, someone to do the emceeing and the doors taken care of. All the things that might go wrong and more so cause other people inconvenience and stress than you. If those are all taken care of and you know you have a certain degree of confidence in the people involved, that you know, other people, like I said, aren't going to be stressed and inconvenienced, then you can feel more relaxed yourself. Because whatever butterflies about your new baby are there, you can't make them go away anyway, because it's the new baby.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And at the launch, you know, it's after all the organization, and the thing is actually sailing. It's like your ship is actually out in the water and it's sailing.
Yeah.
You still have to go around and kind of talk to the crew and welcome all the guests and you know, make sure everybody's happy.
Yeah, after you've made sure that the boat is seaworthy and that the sails and the rigging are all in good shape and everything. But if you you didn't do that first, and then you just like pulled out, you wouldn't know then what could possibly go wrong.
Well, you definitely have no time then for going around and chatting with people.
Exactly.
For sure.
So.
Which we did. We did a lot of that, which was nice.
Yeah.
And really important, actually, because these people are coming for you know, to support you, so.
Even though I'm not necessarily great at that, I'm not a very good mingler or whatever myself. You know, my name is Fidler, not Mingler.
Yeah.
So, but in a situation like that, you make a little extra effort. And I didn't really go around and work the room or anything, but I'm always very approachable. So, you know, whether I was outside taking a breather or standing up somewhere or whatever, people felt comfortable enough to come over to me. So.
And I think everybody really felt comfortable there too. I was getting a really good vibe from
me too.
You know, pockets of people that were standing around and just having a beer and enjoying the night and you know, and enjoying just being out and talking to other people too.
Yeah, and it's funny too that the types of people that we brought together.
Yeah.
That's something that I've always liked to do. With Pressure Drop, we did that. You'd see all types and all ages. That's one of the things I like. I've talked in the past about the old Bounders days. That was the thing about Bounders. Everybody wasn't broken off into their own little groups. Everyone was there, you know? The trads and the rads. And
everybody got along fine.
The roots, the rockers, the reggaes, everybody were all together.
Yeah, sometimes people make new friends. Like, you know, people make new friends too, you know? Like people they wouldn't necessarily...
How many people said afterward? Hang on, folks.
How many people after said?
What's that?
What were you saying?
What was I saying?
How many people after said?
Oh yes, how many people afterwards said, "Wow, I never heard Terry Lynn Eddy sing in my life," and wow, what an incredible set of pipes, and whoa, I never ever heard Andy Vine sing before, or geez, I thought Colleen Power was like something else, you know, and when I saw her live, it was wow, you know, they really liked her, and someone said, you know, I didn't think I liked Colleen Power, but when I saw her that night, you know, blah blah blah, I'm gonna go tomorrow and buy one of her CDs, stuff like that, you know. So it was a good mix. I think it worked out better that way than if we had 5 reggae bands, one after the other, after the other, after the other.
Yeah, you definitely would have gotten a certain crowd of people come, and it might have been not so much of a mix, I guess.
That's right, and it was a good mix, and they mixed well.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And friends that we don't see all the time because some of our I was going to say kids have friends.
What?
I was going to say some of our kids have friends.
Some of our
friends have kids now, so small children, and we don't get to see them very much anymore.
Yes.
So they came out, and
They made the effort,
wow.
yeah.
They really did, and they had such a good time.
Yeah, and it was a Thursday night, so it was a Thursday night, and we finished at midnight. So people had time to get home, get to bed, and get to work maybe, just moving a little bit slow, but not, nothing too serious. And what else was I going to say?
I don't know.
The launch. Oh yeah, and then the Gene Rippers got up, and they were fantastic. There was a 3-piece version of the Gene Rippers, and I thought the guys handled it fine. Their 3-piece thing they did. I thought
guys too.
Very nice guys. Yeah. It was really, after getting to know them and chat with them a bit and so on, I felt really good.
Yeah, me too.
About their involvement.
Definitely.
And for those who chose not to be involved, shag you. You missed out on a bunch of really good vibes.
Oh yeah. I think that after everybody left, everybody felt really good about the night.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Bit of buskerism on the go.
Yeah.
So I did, like I say, the Gene Rippers, then the Discounts, Neil Conway and crew, pardon the pun, got up and did their thing, and they were fantastic. And Kevin Pinhorn was on the board and did a stellar job as usual. Just, you don't have to worry. A lot of times sound is such a worry with situations like that. You're like, oh no, what's going to happen? Is it going to be just a muffled wall of noise? Are you not going to be able to hear anything? Feedback, all these things. With Kevin, it's no problem. You can just completely relax.
There was not one person involved in the whole thing that ended up, like causing any anxiety or any problem or nothing.
Zero. Everybody was just delighted with the vibe and happy to be there and happy to be a part of it, and so on and so on, which is the way you want it to be. And at the end of the night, I got up on the kit, on the drum kit, and had a mic there, and we did a couple of songs. We did one from the record, Lively Up Yourself, one from Revolution Time, and an old tune of mine that predates Pressure Drop, going right back to, I don't know, when I first started monkeying with Dub Illusion was probably like 87 or something like that, on my little Yamaha keyboard. That's why I called it Dub Illusion, because I was just, when I was coming up with the song, coming up with the lyrics and stuff, I had this little Yamaha, little guitar-shaped red Yamaha keyboard, and of course you just hit the button and the beat starts, and then you play the keyboard along with it. So I thought to myself, this is like, what I'm doing here is kind of like Dub Illusion, That's why I called it that. And so we did that at the end, and that was a big, like Lively Up Yourself, getting the crowd going, and wayo, wayo, yo, yo, back and forth, and the whole Deo stuff at the end of Dub Illusion, or near the end. And it was fantastic.
And there were people dancing all over the place.
Yes.
Yeah, that was very nice.
See them doing it.
Because it's a big place.
In Antigua.
If you don't have a good crowd there, it can look kind of sparse.
It can be very dismal, yeah.
But we had just, it was not too many people. It wasn't packed, but it was just enough like that. It was comfortable and lots of room still, but it didn't look like it was, didn't look sparse. And
yeah. It was perfect.
Yeah.
And then just in short, because we are getting somewhat close to our destination, after that, the very next weekend, we went to Terra Nova, where I played at the festival out there, both Friday and Saturday nights. And Friday night was great. It was a really, really nice reception. Saturday night, not so much so, because they ran behind schedule. I ended up basically playing to, the half dozen people left at the end, which was really too bad. Especially then after, where we kept hearing from people that they had come specifically to see me and just couldn't last it out because, they were camping in the park and their children were there and all these kinds of things. So hopefully next year, the good people at Terra Nova will understand. If I think they wanted to put me on at the end because they felt somewhat like I was, the featured performer or something, and I appreciate that. That's that's an honor that doesn't go over my head. I appreciate that. But I think perhaps next year I'll play a little earlier and give other people a chance to finish it out, and because it the main thing, whether you're organizing the festival or whether you're me or any of the other performers or the people, the audience or the fans, you don't want people to be disappointed. That's the thing. So let's go now. In where?
Yeah, Dave's not playing. Dave had to
Oh, we went
downtown.
past. Okay. So anyway, we had a great weekend. Vince Carey, who I just produced a record for, came out with us, and he played both nights just before me. And Jacinthe Tremblay came out with us from Montreal. Allô Jacinthe, si tu écoutes. And we've been sending out CDs in the mail and doing interviews and all these kinds of things. But we thought we'd pull out the R9 and record this little bit for you now and at least get something out to you. So here's this little piece. We'll play you a little bit of the Terra Nova stuff, if we haven't already. We're recording this segment separately, so I don't know, you might have already heard the Terra Nova stuff. If you did, I hope you enjoy it. If not, I hope you enjoy it. What?
Did you mention that we're going to put up a video that we...
I didn't, yeah. We're going to put up a video on YouTube, so we'll put a link in the show notes and on the website to that as well. And that'll definitely be up by the time you hear this. So it's, Rising of the Moon?
I think, yeah.
Okay. It's the first song I did on Friday night. Or Saturday night. We recorded it. Was it Saturday night or Friday night?
Saturday night.
Saturday night was the hot one.
Yeah.
Okay.
You did a great job.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, it was recorded at the Terra Nova Festival, August 2009, just last weekend, and we'll get that up on YouTube and put a link for you guys to check it out. That's one thing. You hear us on the Roar all the time, and a lot of you listeners are, scattered all over the world, and you don't get a chance. You've never maybe had the chance to meet us face to face or see me perform or whatever. So now that we've got the camera, we're also Lillian's working on a video for one of my songs from the Midnight Rover album, Song for Newfoundland. So that's in the works, and that's coming very soon. That'll be the fall for sure.
I'd like to say a special hello to our good friend.
Yes.
Jacinthe.
I just did.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
I was over there talking.
Oh, okay.
Shoot. Anyway,
you can say
this
it
is
too.
my special hello then.
Yes.
Who came with us to Terra Nova, and we really enjoyed your company. If you're listening to this, and
definitely.
Hopefully we can do it again sometime.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. Hopefully, well, it might be in Montreal yet. Who knows? Or it might be back here.
Maybe.
Or it could be anywhere. Barbados.
Les deux marchent bien. Yes. Okay, so enjoy this little offering of ours, and hope everyone's doing well. And if you're not doing well, hey, maybe you could do better.
And we're outside the... You probably all said all this too. We're outside the pub, and our friends are in there singing.
Yes.
Jim and Sue.
Our friends singing that.
Yeah. We have friends that sing.
Yes. All right, folks. So 73, all the best, and we will catch you next time. Oh, I'll have to, whatever. I'll tell you that other bit. I'll tell you that other. I got something to tell you, but I'll tell you before. All right. Cheers.
Cheers.
Hello there, here is MC from the VDC Sing From Here podcast, podcasting from Montreal. You are right now listening to the Republic of Avalon Radio.
Jim was here last night and did an incredible, and I mean an incredible show for us here. And the experience and the time Jim has spent is really paying off. Incredible sound. It's kind of a fusion of Newfoundland folk with a little bit of a reggae influence in there. And he uses the guitar. Last night it sounded like he's playing 2 or 3 instruments at one time. I want to welcome back to the stage, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jim Fidler.
That's close enough for not rock and roll. How's everybody doing? You all that are still here. So now what we got to do, see, all those weak of heart that left earlier, we just got to show them what quality can do as opposed to quantity. So I guess with the time left, I'll do a few. I'll start out with a song that I wrote a long time ago about Newfoundland. What is that, writing songs about Newfoundland? It's like a disease. We can't help ourselves. This one is a little thing on my Gypsy CD, which is over there at the place over there where they're selling the CDs, wherever that is. At the what? At the table, yes. And when you're over there, don't be singing, because you're not supposed to sing at the table. A song called The Rising of the Moon. Every river has to flow down from the mountains to the ocean. Every new day has its dawning by the rising of the moon. Ooh. Every empire has to crumble into social revolution. Every true heart in the world hopes that the day is coming soon. Have the words of our forefathers lost all their meaning? Or have we grown too wise to realize what they mean? Or they laughed at the old people's dire predictions? Yeah. Now with shame we proclaim them to be prophecy. rise up, rise up, rise up, rise up, rise up, rise up, 'tis the rising of the moon. Rise up, rise up, rise up, rise up, rise up, rise up, 'tis the rising of the moon. Out from many's a mud while cabin eyes were watching through the night, many's a manly heart was throbbing for the blessed warning light. Murmurs passed along the valleys, get you ready quick and soon. We all must stand together by the rising of the moon. Hear the voices of the people as we cry out for freedom. Everyone in the whole world just wants to be free. Whoa, whoa, whoa. But it's one thing to talk and another to listen. Yeah. If we all close our eyes, then we never will see how they fought for this island and full bitter was their fate. Oh, I pray to Jah in heaven and I hope that it's not too late. For the days are passing swiftly and the time is coming soon. We all must stand together by the rising of the moon. Rise up, rise up, rise up, rise up, rise up, rise up, 'tis the rising of the moon. Rise up, rise up, rise up, rise up, rise up, rise up, 'tis the rising of the moon. Rise up, rise up, rise up, rise up, rise up, rise up, 'tis the rising of the moon. Rise up, rise up, rise up, rise up, rise up, rise up, 'tis the rising of the moon. Yeah,
Take your time.
A Root Cellar production.